Hey, what's up, Good Life? Thanks for joining me for today's 128 moment. Hopefully be able to join us over the last few weeks. We're walking through this I am statement, looking at Jesus describing himself in his own words. And last Sunday, we saw Jesus declare that he's the resurrection and the life. And he proved it by raising his friend Lazarus from the dead. I mean, what an amazing miracle, right? Who wouldn't be excited to see death defeated? Well, there was one group who was not very happy with what happened that day. The Jewish religious leaders had been at odds with Jesus for some time. They'd wanted this troublemaker to be out of their hair, and they tried several times to at least arrest him, but Jesus had always evaded their schemes. But in the wake of Lazarus coming back to life, and in the wake of that miracle, the religious leaders, they upped the ante on their plans. Fearing that the people would start following Jesus by the thousands, they decided that they needed to do something about this problematic preacher from Galilee. And John 11, the Jewish religious leaders, they said something along the lines of, if we let him keep going like this, everyone's going to believe in him. Now, were the religious leaders concerned that Jesus was misleading the people? Were they worried that he threatened their spiritual health? Maybe in part, but I don't think that's their chief concern. Because right after they said that, they also said this, that then the Romans will come and take away both our place and our nation. These men who were called to lead God's people were only concerned about protecting their pitiful position of alleged power. At best, they had the illusion of authority because it all happened under the boot of the Roman Empire. But the idea that Jesus was messing with their plans, it prompted them to actually plot murder, because in verse 53 it says that from that day on, they planned to put Jesus to death. Now, I don't think you and I ever read through the Gospels and immediately identify with the Pharisees, but maybe there are some times when we should. Now, I know we're not plotting to kill Jesus, but we sure do react really strongly whenever he messes with our plans. We can recoil, if not outright rebel, whenever he rubs up against our illusion of authority. Jesus, in his own words, he came to be our bread of life, the light of the world, the good shepherd, and the door to the sheep. And he came to be the resurrection of the life. And while he came for us in that regard, he also came on his terms. And while we aren't plotting his murder, we also aren't often willing to do what he's called us to do, to take up our cross, deny ourselves, and follow him. The Jewish religious leaders wanted Jesus out of the way. And when we refuse to die to self, we are doing the same thing. Good Life, let this week be a week where you are willing, whenever Jesus pushes into your life, pushes into your heart, and rubs up against an area that you don't want to change, recognize that that's a moment where you get to die to yourself so that more of Jesus can live in you. Hope that encourages you today, and I hope it'll help you go out into our world and into our lives and love enough to share the good news. We'll be continuing our I Am series this Sunday as we continue walking through the Gospel of John. Hopefully be able to join us at 9:30 and 11 at the church, 11 o'clock online. And until then, let's be a people who will love enough.